want to give all the praise and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders, the Zaquamium, the elders of Great Millstone. Also a sincere shalom to the elect. I want to touch on a short video going into the man-pleasing spirit, overly man-pleasing spirit, because there's nothing wrong with a form of man-pleasing, but the overly man-pleasing spirit. And this is not directed towards anyone, but it's just one of those controversial topics I've been, thinking about for a while. And I'll just get right into it, because Jake has to understand that you're not for men, okay? You're doing this for the Lord. You're doing this really to seek your salvation and doing it for the Lord because he called you to do it, And sometimes Jake gets caught up in the hype. And I'm not even going to say the hype, but he gets caught up in the leadership, that is set up. And that's good to follow the leadership because there's a order that's set up. Even amongst different camps, you have orders that are set up and you should follow the leadership. But when it comes to making proper decisions, the leadership may say one thing, and in some instances, it may not be for you. And that, it may not just be exactly for you. But that advice is giving, and you should try to take heed and follow advice, okay, to better yourself, because it's all to look after you. And I think a lot of Jake is not doing it for the Lord. They're not doing it for themselves. They're just doing it to be seen of men, okay? And, I've seen that in the past. And when you get disenchanted, all of a sudden, this truth is not for you anymore. Okay, this is Galatians 1:10. It says, "For do I now persuade men or Yahweh? Or do I seek to please men?" There's a question mark. "For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Yahushua." Okay, and these scriptures pretty much break down themselves. I think a lot of times these scriptures aren't brought out enough because you really have to ask yourself, are you in it? And not even just it's not just talking about top men, apostles and elders, just in a brother so-called situation. You got people in it for the so-called brotherhood. They're still not in it for the Lord. They're in it for the gathering. The brothers sitting around, they're drinking and talking shit, having a good old time, So you just have to ask the question, what are you in it for? Because it's not about all of that. You got those kind of guys that I remember, back in school or whatever, or in the neighborhood. They just agree with everything you say. And they like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I believe that. Yep, that's true. They don't have their own mind to believe what's right or what's wrong in the right spirit. And you get these same kind of Jake that come in the truth. They con, and they don't even know what they're conning about. They don't even have an idea of why they saying con. It's just because they heard it spit out, and this is just what they believe. I mean, not even believe, but just what they hear. It's not even what they believe. And in the statement that may have been made goes much deeper, okay, than they can imagine, because they're not going deeper. And you got Jake like that are pretty much parrots, okay? I've heard top men say certain things, and then, okay, maybe I don't agree with this, or maybe that I agree with that, and it's opinionated. But Jake just conned right away with it, super deep, and never really took the time to figure out what was just actually said. Just take the word for it. That's what it is. Don't go deep and try to research yourself. And you may not even have to research it, because sometimes it just hits you, and it's just common sense. Like, who's an Israelite, who isn't an Israelite, who may look like an Israelite, who may not look, or who may be one and who may not because of the spirit. You know, and at the end of the day, um, the average Jake that looked like an Edomite that could be a Jake is not going to make it anyway. But the whole point of it is the fact that there might be the elect that might look like a so-called white man, and by the statement being said that this person could be a Jake, it's a spiritual statement because it could be. But Jake, that's not even applying himself in the scriptures. Jake to just want to overly man please, just con, but not understanding what was just said. Okay, a lot of these statements go deeper than what is said. Okay, and sometimes it's not even all that deep. And then you got Jake that just over the top, man. Why? Because Jake has to be some form of follower. Okay, and there's nothing wrong being a follower of Yahushua. Okay, and following the leadership, the order to set up. And me personally, I stick with doctrine. Okay, I follow the doctrine, and there might be some things I agree with that are just statements that are outside the doctrine. That I might say, yeah, that's true, or maybe I don't agree. I don't make no big issue about it. But the con for everything, and you don't even believe what you just heard. I mean, I've seen guys do that and get removed. Because they're not doing it for the Lord, man. They're doing it for men. They're not taking the depth of it and understanding the real confusion of faith. This is why guys get all tripped up on the confusion of faith. Okay? They get all tripped up on it, man. I got news for you. There's guys with colored skin, so-called brown skin as Edomites that are confusion of faith. Confusion of faith is not just somebody who looks like a so-called white man. Confusion of faith is also somebody who looks like an Israelite. Okay? 1 Thessalonians 2, and it looks like I'm going to go down to 15. Okay? Looks like 2 and 5. For neither at any time used we flattering words, as ye know, nor a cloak of covetousness, okay? Yahweh's, okay? Trying to just overly do it, trying to be a flatterer, okay? And what I've seen, what I've witnessed, even my teachers, they never tried to flatter me, or anybody else I've seen. And over my time and years in the truth, I knew not to go around and try to flatter anybody else, And sometimes you look up to people, and you just got to know how far to take it and how far to go with it, man. Some Jake just want to go over to so much over the top, the brown nosing, that it really incriminates you, man. It really hurts you in the long run. Okay? Nor of men sought we glory. Okay? So the apostles can't save you. And they'll tell you that. I was told that, And that's really common sense. But you got to understand there's people brothers that'll hear it, and it just goes in one ear and out the other because they're not fully taking it in. You got to fully take that in. Okay? Nor of men sought we glory, neither of you, nor yet of others, where we might have been burdensome as the apostles of Yahushua. Now, the apostles means sent forth. Okay? So you got many apostles, but you got head apostles. Okay? So you got to act as though you're teachers. You know what I mean? Your teachers make decisions. They help you make decisions. But from that point on, you are supposed to be able to gravitate, take those decisions, and be able to make something out of things in future situations as well, like financial situations, okay? You take the advice, and then you're supposed to build on that within yourself. You sit back, or even health. Jake gets over the top with that. You take that and you move forward. You don't just sit back and wait. Okay, I'm gonna hear what the next thing has to be said. Okay, what else should I do? You got Google, you got everything out here, all the resources, man. And then you get on the page and con, Or you got brothers that, and not just, I've seen it with new brothers trying to come in, and they may look up to you because you've been doing it a while and this and that. But then you can see the guys that are not sincere. They're trying to overly please to be seen of men. And I've witnessed a guy do that, and he never came back to the camp, okay? Because he was trying too hard, you know? He was just trying too hard. It's okay to try. It's okay to show you're worthy. You're trying to do the things you're trying to do. But when you're trying to move brother stands out of the way and bring your own stand in and set your own camera up, trying to be the man, that's over the top, okay? I just wanted to touch on that. I didn't have too much else to go on, but I wanted to talk on that. You know, you had the greatest man that walked the earth, you know, Solomon, Yahushua. Some people don't believe Solomon was the, Yahushua was the reincarnation of Solomon, but Solomon went off, okay? He came back, you know, going on down the line to Yahushua to get his judgment. But even Yahushua grew weak, okay? When you read the book of Matthew, I believe the 26th chapter on Mount Gethsemane, when he said to the Lord, you know, why me? You know, so this is the, you know, the greatest man that walked the earth. And he said, why hast thou called me good? There's only one good. Okay. And this is the greatest man that walked the earth. Okay. Let me read it. Matthew 26. I think I just pulled it up. I think it's, let me go to 39. 38. Then said he unto me, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Okay. This is, when you read the story, he took Peter with him, okay, and the two sons of Zebedee. It goes on to say, tarry ye here and watch with me. And in verse 39 says, and he went a little further, meaning they waited back while he walked up a little further. And this is the one you call Jesus, Yahushua, and he fell on his face and prayed, saying, oh, my Father, okay, it says, oh, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Okay, so this is a prime example. You know, you got these people saying, well, your apostles went off with the year 2000 prophecy. You know, this is an example to prove that the scripture says great men are not always wise. This is also an example to prove that the one you call Jesus, Yahushua, came on this earth, the greatest man to walk this planet, fell weak. And you're going to tell me that men can't go off? It's impossible? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. Yes, we all go off. Apostles go off. Elders have went off, and they'll tell you, yeah, because if they didn't go off, we wouldn't be in the position we in now, okay? Because the truth grows. Follow, you know, when everybody came into the truth, and not even me, but I'm gonna say myself, I came in under a different doctrine, okay? The apostles, they was teaching a form of a different. It was the same doctrine, but it changed. But they was teaching something a little bit different, but it was the same pretty much doctrine. But the doctrine changed because you grow. Okay? This is the doctrine we're teaching now, or they're teaching us, and now that we're teaching, is not the same doctrine of the 1990s. Okay? You might have ISBK, they're teaching that same old One West doctrine. Okay? So we all meant to go off. Okay, we all make mistakes. So my whole point is, don't look at men as they're Yahushua. It's not the case. Okay, we all get the same reward, man. Don't do this for men. Don't do this for the brotherhood. Okay, do it to seek your salvation. Do it for the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. Okay, that's all I have on that, man. Shalom.